Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And good night. I'm Christine.
I'm Jamie.
We are talking our final One Dark Window episode, part 3.
Yes, of the first book. We're doing the second book. Final sounds like we're done.
Yeah, the final one of the first book.
Okay. Agree to disagree. Okay, wait, my hair is like...
What's up?
You made a pretty good drink today.
Oh, yeah, I made a drink. So, I made a drink called The Mist. Because, I don't know if you guys know.
Not to be confused with the Stephen King novel / movie.
Is there a Stephen King book called
I
The
should
Mist?
double check that. Yeah, there is. It's a Stephen King 1980 novella that was also made into a movie, and then I think maybe a TV show at one point. So, not to be confused.
Right. I am sorry that the drink, like, I thought of this while we were making the drink, as it should have been salty.
Yeah.
It should have been a salty cocktail, and I just had that idea as I was making it. So, I'm a dum-dum.
But it was a good cocktail.
So, instead, what I did was a London fog. Now, from my research, a London fog originated in Vancouver, which is very confusing because it's called the London fog. Now, don't ask me why it's called that. I don't remember.
It's Earl Grey tea.
And I refuse to answer you. And I refuse.
Christine's a big tea drinker.
No, I'm not. I am not.
No.
But sometimes I like tea cocktails. Okay?
I love a tea cocktail. I'm a big fan.
So a London fog is not originally a cocktail. So a London fog is basically just an Earl Grey tea
It's a very
latte.
common drink.
So this was the cocktail version, and we actually made a version that was the Earl Grey tea and the frothed milk and the vanilla simple syrup with gin, and then we made a different version that was with bourbon.
Bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Kentucky bourbon whiskey.
Now, I'm glad that we did that because I really liked the gin one. I didn't love the bourbon one.
I loved the bourbon one.
And that is why I'm glad that we did that.
Yeah, my rating would have been lower if it was the gin version.
Okay.
So yeah, I
liked it.
I did really enjoy it. And it would be also really good, like just a little night cap if you want to add some spice to your nighttime tea.
If you want to get sleepy with some alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, I usually drink tea before I go to bed every night, so if you want to throw an alcohol in there, you can.
You do you.
Or if you look, London fogs are super popular. I know lots of people that like them, so.
We did rate it already.
Yeah, I rated it an 8.
Yeah, I did a 7.7.
Yeah, Christine likes to really make things difficult.
I need to be specific, okay?
I mean, that's fair. I've also been doing that on Goodreads, so.
Oh, that's the worst. Okay. A little bit of an update. We did decide on what we're gonna do for our... Well,
book
you
club.
decided because it's your turn.
Yes. I picked Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong for our book club in April. I'm very excited about it just because I've wanted to read some of their books for a really long time. And I've heard really good things about this one.
Yeah.
I've also really always wanted to read The Sword of Kaigan as well. Those have always kind of been on my list.
Now that you picked that, I'm seeing it everywhere.
The one that we
The
picked?
Blood Over Brighthaven. I'm seeing it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even more.
I've been seeing it more and more. That I feel like also kind of pushed me to pick it as well. Yeah. Because I started to see it more, even though I already had it.
We need to read it.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, obviously it's going to be good. And we need something better because, I'm sorry, the last book club book...
You're still hating. There's a hating hangover.
Yeah, like, I'm just still not a big fan of it.
Well, I hope. I hate your book.
I don't.
That's what I hope.
I just sometimes think of that book and, like, it makes me mad. Like, just parts of it. Yeah.
Okay, but Jamie, what part of... What's her name? James. What part of James do you see in yourself that is triggering you? Maybe that's it.
No. I wanted more from her. I feel like we didn't really get much of a character thing from her. I don't know. This wasn't my cup of tea.
You just want to give her a punch.
It's not even her, it's just the book. That kind of makes me a little bit mad. And I sometimes think about it.
Okay.
But then it was really like, okay, I don't hate it that much.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. I don't know why I'm going off on this book. I'm so sorry.
Well, best wishes to us on our next book club pick. and this is the result. This is the fun result, because usually we cover duology and series that we have read before, and then we go, we love it, and then we cover it, right?
Yes.
So like the book club that was our first endeavor into, neither of us has read it. We don't know if we're gonna like it. And then
not loving it. And
so
I didn't.
This is new.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let it go.
Any significant new reads?
Oh my god, I feel like February was a great month for me.
Okay.
Give
us one. We don't have all night. Just give us one.
So I read the Crimson Moth series, duology. I'm gonna mess up her last name. Kristen Sicarelli. I don't know if that's right. I'm very sorry.
Sicarelli?
Sicarelli. Oh, that sounds...
I don't know if that's right. I'm just
That sounds better. I honestly was just like really in love with the covers. They were so beautiful. The colors. I really enjoyed it. I haven't really read many, I feel like, YA novels.
Yeah.
Like I have lots on my list, and I'm always like, They were just so easy to read. I love witches. And it was really like enemies to lovers, like actually. Yeah. Not like, I mean, I love Raven You, but that's not like a true enemies to lovers, you know? Even though some people are like, oh, enemies to lovers. I'm like, no. Yeah, just highly recommend. And I also read the third book from the Ruinous Love trilogy. So Scythe and Sparrow, that's the Blackbird and the Butcher.
Now that you said that, now I keep seeing that everywhere. And I have not read that series.
Yes. So the third one came out.
Well, that's probably why I'm seeing it everywhere, because the third one came out.
Just
so
came out.
People are reading
and
it
with the Crimson Moth, the second part of it just came out too.
Yeah.
So they've kind of been everywhere. But they made me so happy. Really made me happy to go to bed at night. I was like going up like, oh, 6, can I go to bed yet? Just so I can read? I'm gonna do it anyways.
You're so cool.
I know. Someone messaged me like, cool oh, do you want to come do this? I'm like, oh,
I don't.
No, I'm like, I'm already in bed. I know it's 7:30, but
definitely going to sleep.
No, early night.
2 a.m.
Do you want to say one that you read?
What have I read? Oh, this is so embarrassing. I read 2 Lady of Darkness novellas.
Oh, right, I saw that.
Because I'm not okay.
You just missed them?
I'm a sad person.
Are those sad books?
Are they sad books?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit.
Oh.
No. Is that what you got from me saying I'm a sad person?
Yeah.
No, I'm just like a little bit embarrassed that like I have a 200 book TBR. And I'm like, I'll read these Lady of Darkness novellas.
Oh, because you're so obsessed. Okay, I get it. I was like, why are these sad? Why are you
I'll take anything
books?
You give me. Melissa K. Rowrich.
Did she like just release them?
No, but I didn't know they existed, and then I discovered, and I was like, okay, well, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters other than these 2 novellas about these characters I didn't know I cared that much about. Okay. So that's what I did, because I loved the Lady of Darkness series. The other one I read was, I can never remember the name, and you have to tell me every single time, the Carissa Broadbent.
Daughter of No Worlds?
Daughter of No Worlds.
Oh, I totally forgot you've been reading that.
I read the first one, and then I'm like 10% into the second one. So the reason why this is so significant is because Jamie read them. That was one of her top reads of 2024. And if I like this series, it is a top contender for what we're going to be covering for the second half of the year. So there's a lot of pressure here.
Yeah.
I will say I loved the first book.
Okay.
Love it. It was great. It was super easy to get into. Yeah, it was not it wasn't difficult like I had to like
force yourself.
I didn't have to force myself.
Yeah.
No, it was enjoyable. I liked it. I like them. I like the people. I'm into it.
What does her voice sound like to you in your head?
Like my voice.
Oh.
And then I have to remind myself, oh, she probably has an accent, and then I like try to do it for a second, and then I forget.
Because they have it where she says Max, but they like spell it weird, so you know it's like in an accent.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I will say for anyone interested in it, I did try the audiobook, and it was hard for me to get into it. So I had to switch to Kindle.
I'm excited you liked it because I was nervous. Just because I loved it so much. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, please like it.
Yeah, imagine I read it and I was like, Jamie, what is this hot garbage?
So
Your
bad.
opinion is shit and you need help.
Hey, that could have happened.
Yeah. No, it didn't. Let's talk about One Dark Window.
Okay. One dark window.
I know, that's like every time we talk about it, it's going, One Dark Window. Like a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I just put a quote up top because we do have the repeated quote of what is it? be
Right?
Be wary, be clever, be good.
Yeah.
And so there was a quote at some point in the book that explained it further, which I thought was helpful.
Oh.
Because it is like in
Because
I
they
didn't
say it so much to each other.
Yeah, I was like, do I have to look up the definition? Like, what's happening? But we finally get a bigger explanation. So it says, to be wary is to be keen. Keen of those who may use magic for wrong. To be clever is to be wise. Wise not to use the cards too often. To be good is to be reverent. Reverent of balance, of salt in the air, of the spirit of the wood. Be wary, be clever, be good. That was actually really helpful. It was.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
What does that even mean?
I don't know what to be keen and to be wary.
Oh my god. I feel like I kind of got it, like when they would say it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
But I feel that is a very helpful.
I guess you're a better person.
Okay. I just have a few comments. The amount of times jerkin is used.
Really?
Yes.
I noticed it once.
Oh, it's a few times there, and I like just giggle like I'm like 10 years old every time. I was like, can we not call it something else?
Jerkin.
It's just like such a weird, funny word.
Jerkin turkin.
Nope. Yeah. If we could just start using something else.
Isn't it is that like a clothing?
It's like almost like a tank top, but like vest. So it's a vest. It's not a tank top. I don't know why I said tank top. But they like are the ones that like go over like the clothes like in the olden days.
Okay.
Because it can also have like a tie.
Like jerkin.
Yeah, those are jerkin.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you can Google it. There's lots of different styles. That's what I did. She does at one point say, "A storm is coming. I could feel it in my broken wrist."
No.
Yeah. And I just really loved that was pointed out that, you know what? Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean it's true?
Like your body can like, when it's like colder, like it can like feel things like that. You know how like it always like old people say, oh, I can feel it in my hips. You can.
Okay, I'll have to take your word for it.
My back gets worse when it's like colder out, or I can like feel like colder coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your body like feels it.
Okay, I believe.
So I just really love that this like 20-year-old, she knows.
She's a very old soul. She won't wear pants. We ended with Market Day and we begin with Market Day.
Took a turn.
It did take a turn. There's an infected child in a family that Hoth is like, off with their heads.
Oh my god,
Right?
it's just
That's
so...
what I imagined.
I literally just have like puke emoji with it.
Because he's the worst?
Yeah, and he's like, "You're putting Blender at risk by doing..." And I'm like, the hypocrisy of this
The hypocrisy.
is that and I mean, it happens a lot in these books, but it just made me so angry. I'm like, your cousin who runs things is infected.
Yeah, but this family isn't useful to him, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, they're going to see if the child's useful. And but how they make like everyone just like feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me so angry, and it keeps happening.
Well, I think Hoth is going to continue to make us angry.
Yeah.
Because he's the villain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this and the end portion of the book, I did note the evil gang that we got going.
Yeah.
So we got the mean doctor. Mean Dr. Orith?
Yes, I always wanted to read Orville, like the popcorn.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why.
Okay, Orith? That's how I said it in my head.
Yeah.
So me and Dr. Orith, we have Hoth, the insecure muscle man, and we have Lyndon, the insecure sidekick.
Yeah.
And then we have Uncle Coward, who comes to us later.
Oh, Uncle I was like, who's that?
Yeah, he's the fun.
Yeah.
He's the fun uncle for sure.
Super fun.
I do love how Elspeth, when I guess she's like standing up for her people, right? The infected, and she pushes Elm a little bit, and it was like, you don't need Raven, right? Because he's kind of like looking around, searching, like, what do we do? Like, how do we help? And she's like, you don't need Raven, which I loved that part.
Yeah, and she does say, like, I've seen you use you're good at what you do.
Yeah, go get him, Elm.
Yeah.
And then Elm, he's triggered by his brother's evil laugh, and there's this wonderful scene of him standing up to his brother, which was a little bit of a build-up, right? We get the sense that he has disconnected from his family, or he went to go live with Raven's family, and so we have this moment where he's like, you're the mean brother. And the sound of his brother's laugh snapped something in Elm, his green eyes narrowed, prey to predator. He reached into his pocket, retrieving his red card. Muttering something under his breath I could not make out, prayer or curse. An audible gasp ripped through the crowd. The physicians turned to the mist with wide eyes. The Destroyer's back stiffened. Laughter died on Hoth Rowan's mouth. The prisoners had stopped walking. They stood, froze mid-step, as if cast into stone, caught in the battle of princes. Rowan against Rowan, Scythe against Scythe.
Kind of cool that they can use the Scythe against each other like that.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
But not fun. Because then Elm starts to bleed.
Yeah. So we see that it does have an effect.
Yeah.
I loved, this was like right before it. I'm just a huge fan of how she writes and like her descriptions of things. So she has, when they're like starting to, everyone's going to see what happened. Just half a blunder poured onto the road. We looked grotesque in our house colors. Our clothes too bright, too alive for what we were about to witness. It was just like,
right.
Just like a quick little thing, but it just like depicts things so well.
Well, it's this day, market day, that is supposed to be celebratory, and everyone is in the market, and there's food, and there's, goods, and everyone's there with their colors, everybody's celebrating, and then you do this awful, you drag everyone into this awful thing that is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also just like this beautiful photo. That's all I think of. Like, I'm like painting.
Yeah.
And they're just like surrounded by like darkness and mist and... Good job, Miss Gillig.
Gillig. Oh, the one... We'll get to this in a little bit, but we start to see Elspeth a little bit. Her thoughts and what she says starts to be intertwined with the nightmares.
Yes.
Right?
That happens like quite a few times where it's like all of a sudden she's speaking and it's not like... She's like, but I'm not speaking. Or it's coming out differently.
Right. So here... When just at market day, we get it a little bit together. We start to get signs of like, what is the nightmare about? What is he thinking? Mm-hmm. What is his motives? Oh, I love it that we're getting more of him.
Yeah, I really like that. Even just like their relationship we're getting more of, which is...
Or I think in this part too, we're getting a sign of like, he's also mad about the infected children. I think that's the point too.
Yeah, where you get to see way more.
It's not just Elspeth being like, we're both infected. It's like the nightmare is also very mad about that too, and we don't know why yet.
Yes. Okay, agreed. There's also a part where Raven... Okay, this is after, kind of, I think with your part, like once after he finds her and everything. I just want to shout it out. When he's like yelling at everybody. So he closes the distance between himself and his cousin, his anger unrivaled. It is your right to uphold the king's law, he said, but not without my leave. Don't think my deaf to the dissent you sow behind my back, cousin, if it's command you want. And he spread his arms wide, an invitation. Take it. It's so hot. That's all I just wanted to point that out for.
No, I really like that scene where he's standing up to him and is...
Like, I see what you're doing, but... I just love how it's like his arms are wide open. You guys can't see me, but I'm doing this. Just like, take it. Obviously he doesn't. I'm like, oh, Raven, stop.
Fight me.
So hot. Love it.
The only other part I had was just when Elspeth has like the weird fingers.
Oh, and they're all, yeah.
The weird finger, her eyes are yellow. She's got her weird long fingers
Claws.
and they're like a claw. And he just kind of like brushes it off. It just made me laugh. It's just like, he's, no, you're okay. You're fine. No, that's not weird. And he's like in such denial. We're okay. No.
Your eyes are yellow. It's cool. I do also like, I think it's that part. He's like, okay, like, what's going, like, on? Or I think that's when they get back to the house, maybe.
When she's finally like, confesses?
No, it's before, when she's like, I can't tell you. Like,
Oh.
You'll never look at me the same. And he just says, then your estimation of me is lower than I imagined.
Oh.
Stop it, Raven.
Oh, Raven, you're so mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the next one I have is like when they're back at the house. So they're back at U Castle. Emory escaped, obviously,
Yes.
and then he made it home. And I just love Emory.
I know.
Just to note that. Love him.
He has some
Love
great
him.
comments.
He's great. And he goes into this big tangent about how the U's are related to
The Shepard King.
The Shepard King. Yeah. And it's like, where does this come from? And everyone's like, okay, yeah.
Right? And they're like, oh, Raven and Elm, like, roll their eyes. I'm like, okay, but he has a lot of good points.
And he also has magic powers, you
Yeah.
guys. He has magic powers where he's able to see in the depths of everyone's soul.
Yeah.
Maybe the man, the boy, has some information.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows some stuff that you don't know. And he makes a good point.
Everything he says, I was like, yeah, that adds up.
It does add up.
That they would be descendants of it.
Yeah. The Shepard King's history is gone, but Rowan histories are fascinating if you read between the lines. Stone was built by the first Rowan king, which means the Shepard King dwelled somewhere else. There are no other grand castles in Blunder.
Save the one that sits in ruins here at Castle U. The ruins are old, perhaps even the oldest thing in Blunder. Still, all that proves is that hundreds of years ago, another castle stood here.
But the ruins aren't the oldest thing in Blunder. The trees are. If the Shepard King did live here, he would have taken the name of the trees, the way everyone did. And what kind of trees are planted all along the estate, even near the ruins? Yews. So, Emory, you're
Emory
onto
has some great points. My favorite part was when you have Elm and Raven start fighting.
Oh, yeah. My title is M. My title is Elm Says It Like It Is.
Oh, yeah. I love when they argue. Emory said into his soup. Keeps my weak little heart beating.
Yeah, Emory loves it.
Yeah.
Emory loves it. Yeah, I noted, like, Raven is like, if you have something to say, you could say it in front of my old lady. And Elm is like, okay. Whatever her magic, it's more than a penchant for spotting Providence cars. I don't trust her.
I do. That should be enough for you.
Should it? Am I not allowed to have my own opinion, or does everyone bow to the captain of the destroyers?
You can have your own opinion, but just know, without all the facts, you sound like an idiot.
And what facts, pray tell, am I missing? And that's when Emory says...
I love when they argue. Keeps my weak little heart beating.
I like how he's eating soup, too.
You know, same.
Okay, which leads us to Raven and Elspeth eye fucking? Or...
Oh, yes, it does. And then they obviously, like, go back. I want to shout out the nightmare before we get to the sexy time, though. Oh, so she's kind of, like, saying to the night, obviously in her mind, that, like, he won't want anything to do with her if she tells him, like, about her eyes and everything. So I like that, like, she's freaking out. And then the nightmare says, you cannot erase the salt from the din, but if you won't let me out, you must let him in.
And then she says it. I'm degenerating.
Yeah. It just, the nightmare
It's like,
so confusing in so many ways.
Oh my gosh. And even as this book comes on, or like keeps going in the next book, it's like there's so many moments where you're like, oh my god.
But that part I was like, Like, you're being so supportive and you're telling, like, yeah, this is what she needs to do right now. It's like, good job. And
Then
that's
in other
support.
moments you're like, well,
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm so confused.
yeah.
Okay, so sexy time was so great.
Okay, but first she says that she's degenerating.
Oh, right, I guess that's important.
And he's like, oh no, like, you know, it goes to her.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really tell him what it is. She doesn't tell him what it is. He just like, it's just like, let's get it on instead. I don't know, which is fine,
Yeah,
right? And
like, we don't have a lot of time left.
YOLO, right? Like, let's leave it to tomorrow. Whatever, guys. Yeah. Whatever. I'm degenerating. It's fine. Like, let's like kiss and touch each other, right? Yeah. That's fine.
It's way more fun.
Talk about it.
There's one part she said, so obviously they're like, yeah, I'm dying, no big deal, let's continue.
Yeah.
So she says, it felt painful, saying what I wanted out loud, like flexing an unworked muscle. I wanted to make a joke of it, to play coy, to tease him, anything that would stop me from feeling vulnerable and exposed. The distance between us rapidly closing. I was like, I feel that. You know? I just really liked that, like, description. Where, like, being vulnerable is so scary. You're like, okay, but what can I do to distract you from this and what's actually happening? And
just show me boobs.
That's right. Yeah. But even, like, she's like, just to, like, to tease him, to, like, do something to, like, not make this such, like, a big moment. Especially after, like, I finally told you what was going on. And I'm like, yeah, like, it's actually, like, when I was, like, reading it, I could, like, feel that. I'm like, yeah, it's so scary.
It's so painful.
Yeah. Who wants to be
vulnerable? We know that about Elspeth. She really did not want to show that she liked him.
No. So it's a big thing for her to be vulnerable. But I think just in general, it's like such a scary, I don't know, that just like little sentence, I just like felt that so much. It was like, yes.
Definitely.
Vulnerability is scary.
I liked how when she went to his room, she was like, I'd be a liar if I said, oh no, he said this. I'd be a liar if I said it wasn't always this untidy. She says, I like it.
I love how messy he is and how much she loves it.
She's like, I love it. Let's roll in your dirty clothes. Let's get naked and roll in it.
Yeah. Let's throw more things on the floor.
Okay, now the best quote in this book.
I was about to say, I think we can all agree that the best part is what's coming next.
Can I kiss you?
A bit late to ask, isn't it?
Not your mouth, Elspeth. And then I just imagine the meme or the whatever you call it of just like the silent screaming and like moving your hands and like just like or like the scream run.
Oh yes. Just look at her face. Oh, what? Oh, it was so good. I was like embarrassed reading it.
And he was like, ooh. And she's like, okay.
I mean, I guess so.
Take off my tights.
Oh, I loved it.
I also loved Elspeth's descriptions of being turned on. It made me laugh. And reaching climax. It's like beautiful, but also funny.
Okay.
So his touch searing over my skin, I was alive only in my body, as if leaning out an open window in the tallest tower of Spindle House. I felt it in my stomach, the palms of my hands, the soles of my casement, pushing me toward an inevitable ruinous fall. And then a little bit later...
that is really beautiful sounding.
Right?
Yeah.
I felt him moan, and then I was falling, released from casement, tumbling down the tower, every part of me caught in the fall. And then later, somehow they ended up on the floor.
Awesome.
Right? It's just like, I'm just leaning out a tower, and I'm like, ah! Right? It's like she's just like such a bundled up person, like isolated in her little home, tending to her garden, and then she's like,
oh, I'm so happy for her.
What is life?
What is life? I am falling. My body is falling.
Yeah, but no, beautiful description.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I'm so happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy that she got that.
I am an old woman though, so when they do go like, oh, how do we end up the floor? I'd be like, I would very much notice if we ended up on the floor because that would hurt my joints.
Not if you like went there or started there. They could have been on the floor the entire time.
No, they weren't.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Well, what does that matter?
But there's so many clothes on the floor that it probably feels like a bed.
Oh, well, it depends how many clothes he has on the floor, I guess.
Anyways, the next day at breakfast is fantastic.
That was cute. Yeah.
I know the first person I want to see after I sleep with someone
Is his parents?
First, their sister.
Oh.
As soon as I open the door, that's who I want to see is their sister.
She seems great, though. The parents seem worse in my head.
Oh, yeah, that's just so awkward, like, to go down. And then
Yeah.
she's so awkward. Jasper's hilarious. I love her. But as Raven comes down, Elm's like, what is wrong with you? You are smiling? And he, like, can't figure it. I'm like, Elm, like, how have you not figured this out? It took you a while.
Remember when you left last night because you didn't like that they were eye-fucking?
Yeah.
And then
what do you think happened?
They did real.
Yeah. They moved downwards from the eyes.
Yeah.
I liked that, yeah. It was an awkward breakfast. It was a funny breakfast. And then it got really depressing. But also you think, like, you're going to have breakfast, like, with your parents and that. Like, you wouldn't be super obvious about it. I feel like he walked down with, like, his chest out, just a big grin, like, not trying to hide.
Does everyone forget that Raven's parents are there? Like, are they just, like, in the background?
I kind of
like,
do sometimes, yeah.
They're here, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel bad for them. So they have to bring Emory back. And there was that cute situation where he's like, found them, they were kissing.
Oh, and they're so cute.
Yeah.
They are just being really cute, and I love it.
But Emory says, what a shame. Here I was thinking she'd come to kiss me. That's how the fairy tale goes, isn't it? Beautiful maiden saves sick boy with a kiss. Boy miraculously heals and delivers a kingdom from dark magic. And Elm says, almost. Except in this fairy tale, the maiden has blood on her hands. And I was like, hey, Elm, lay off for a second. It's a joke.
God.
Oh.
Loosen up.
And then Emory does see a vision when he touches Elspeth, or Elspeth wants him to wants to see
asks
what
him
he
to
sees.
do it.
And so it was super creepy because he says, I see a creature curled around your spine as if woven into you. Oh, just that visual.
I know, I love it. It's so creepy.
Yeah, he said, and Elspeth says, how long do I have until he takes me over entirely? And Emory says, not long, Elspeth Spindle. He is close. Which brings us to part 3, the blood.
Just the blood. That's it.
In Two Twisted Crowns, the first part is the bleed.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I totally forgot that there was parts. Don't worry.
It's a Spindle House party.
Oh, Spindle House party.
Yeah, with Bad Dad.
Oh.
Means I don't know how that song goes. But what I do like is Elspeth's dress.
Oh.
Do you recall it?
No, I don't.
It's just black, and I just imagine her in just like a square neck, long sleeve.
Yep.
And she looks hot in her black outfit, and then they do a little like ninja heist, and she's wearing black, you know? Like, I just feel like it's her.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree.
You know, like, we're going on a mission.
Yeah.
So, they go on this mission. I don't know if I have much to say about when they're actually looking, other than...
Yeah. You might be saying the same thing I'm going to say.
I liked the conversation where Elm was talking about why Elm and Elspeth are talking about something. She says, my father could have turned me in when I caught the fever, but he didn't. He broke the rules for me, and that's what he sees when he looks at me, a broken rule. And Elm said, what if he didn't? Suppose he or someone else risked their title, their life for yours freely. Someone who saw all your secrets and sicknesses and did not fear you. Wouldn't you choose them over all others? Right? So he's trying to explain, like, why he's so protective of Raven, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And so eventually she's like, I think I understand, and yes, I think I would do anything for someone like that. I truly would. He says, and wouldn't you do anything to protect them? And she says, you're worried about Raven. Yeah. You think because I have secrets that I will betray him, betray all of you. And so I feel like I feel like Elspeth gets like a little bit of like empathy in though, and she's like, "Oh, I see why you're being a meanie."
Yeah, I feel like this whole part, like a lot of it, you kind of see Elm like understand a little bit more.
You're real tweaking to like trying to understand. Well, Elm,
Yes.
why you're such an a-hole?
Yeah, but I enjoyed when I think it's what's his name, Balian.
Mm-hmm.
One of the servant people comes in, and then he doesn't, and El makes him bow to Elsbeth.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that was cute of you.
Yeah, I mean, super mean, but
But he was being an asshole to her.
yeah.
And so I liked it. It was like kind of like a fun thing that he did for her. And also, you know, kind of like we're bonding. I'm going to force this guy to bow to you now.
Yeah.
We're kind of friends.
I mean, I don't know that it was so much about Elspeth. I think Elm was more like, you're an a-hole, and I think this is funny.
I also enjoyed it.
Okay. Let's get to the chalice. The chalice, the big scene.
Oh my god. So annoying. They
chalice?
walk over there. Like, oh, there's just 6 goblets of wine waiting. And like, no, nobody's suspicious that there's just these goblets already with wine in them.
I know, I wrote amateurs.
Yeah.
Next to this.
This is just this empty table.
Now, if this happened to me, would I drink it? Yeah, I'm stupid. But as I'm reading it,
Because nobody taught you
it.
not to just drink drinks that are sitting out there.
Maybe now that I've read, but maybe now, no.
Okay.
Maybe
FYI, don't
be
just
less
drink drinks
judgmental.
that are out sitting in a big ball party where there's lots of people. They could be drugged.
Yeah, okay. Well, these were.
It's exactly.
Yes, I didn't like how Hoth was like, only someone with something to hide would refuse to play. You don't have anything to hide, do you? And I was like, yeah, I do.
We all do.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
If my cousin did this to me, I'd be like, yeah, bye. Right? I don't care if you think it's suspicious. I don't owe you anything.
Yeah. Also, aren't you supposed to be hiding the fact that you're keeping people that are infected? Your father would kill you if that got out. And you're just...
But all of them know it.
Elspeth doesn't know it. Ione doesn't know it.
What do you mean? Elspeth knows that.
But he doesn't know that she knows. You see what I'm saying? And you're allowing someone who doesn't know your family secrets to play, and she could ask you those questions. Same with Ione. But you're so adamant on getting the answers that you want.
Yeah, I think it just matters less to him, probably.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
It. Anyway. Go to hell, Hoth.
You're an idiot.
Jesper is wonderful. And this is like one of many things. And we said this, I think, last episode, maybe the one before, where I want to see more of Jesper. And I have, after reading this duology, because we have read it, I thought I knew her better. And so I'm still like, do we get so much more of her in Two Twisted Crowns?
I think we do.
Maybe is that why I feel like I love her?
Yeah.
But now rereading One Dark Window, I'm like, oh, we get very little of Jesper.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this is one of she starts it off. She's like, okay, well, let's do it. I'll begin with an easy one. Are you jealous of Raven? Oh, petty. I like a petty bitch, and Jesper is one. I love it. She's not afraid.
I'm surprised they haven't played this and asked this before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right?
He's like, yes.
This would be the worst to play this game.
I love it.
I'm a big fan of Ione.
Ione was great in this scene.
Right? I guess she just fully admits that she wants power.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. And does not give a shit. It was really sad when Elspeth's like, I wanted to be like you, when they kind of argued a little bit.
Yeah, and she says, it doesn't matter now. Now we're both sheep nestled pleasantly in a wolf den. Or is it the other way around? I mean, clearly in this scene, Ione is affected. It's like...
Yeah.
Just having the ability to say, like, yeah, I want power. No, I don't love him. And she's seemingly unaffected. Obviously, that's part of the maiden.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it is also, like, a clue of, like, how her and Hoth are doing as a couple. Not great.
Clearly not great. I think we also find out that he's been sleeping with other people, which I think that's been pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But then when she asks her, like, straight out, like, are you in love with him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, well, that was just rude. Why would you do that?
Oh, see, I have a different take.
Oh.
Okay, here's my different take, though. Okay, because Elspeth, her question to Raven was, are you still pretending? And Raven gave a surprised laugh and in front of everyone leaned in and kissed me. I never was. He whispered into my lips. No, I'm down for it.
Oh,
but
okay.
that's just giving context for why I'm annoyed by her. Because then when Ione is like, are you in love, Elspeth? And she's like, nobody could know. How can I say this out loud? And it's like, Elspeth,
I don't think
we know.
what it was. I think it was...
In front of everybody, she's like, are you still pretending? And then he leans in and kissed her. I never... Like, everyone is watching when this is happening.
No, I agree with that, but I think the first time you tell someone that you love them, you don't want it to be because you're forced to say it.
No, you don't want to, but she's like paralyzed by fear, paralyzed by like, oh, and it's like, okay, this isn't the ideal situation. This is not how you wanted it to happen, but she, in her mind, because it goes through her internal dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't possibly.
Okay, yes, I do agree.
Like, Elspeth, they know. Everyone knows.
I was annoyed at that part because you're degenerating. So every time you ask the neighbor for help, and she right away with that question said, help me, so she didn't have to answer it.
Yeah.
And I was annoyed at that, actually.
Elspeth, calm the fuck down.
But also I don't know, I was just like, don't ask that. That's rude. But I do also agree with her reaction where I was like, this is not life or death. You should not be asking for help right now.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine, girl, you're fine. Well, it's just like, if you're willing to do that display of affection, it just confused me that in a minute later, you're like, I can't do that. Even if it's difficult, it was just like, but this is also the gal that comes from Eric Spindle, so. So, Raven goes into her head to try and help her in a later, when Hoth is asking questions, and then he encounters the nightmare, which is like the climax, right? He finally encounters the nightmare.
No, he's like, I'm gonna help you, don't worry.
Yeah.
Get out, Raven, you. Get out! But it's probably a lot more louder and scarier.
And so, she pukes everywhere. Now, here's my issue. Because I have to bring up my issues.
Okay.
Who's gonna clean it up?
I'm sure they have servants.
I know. So, then I imagine that staff having to clean up her dirt blood puke.
Yeah.
In the middle of a party. Can you, just as people who know how to clean stuff up, how hard would it be to clean up the dirt blood puke?
I love that this is something that you focused on.
I fixate, and I feel so bad for them. And how? Do people are just like, don't go in the living room? Or like, what is it?
I don't think they were in a living room.
Well, I don't know. Don't go to the dining hall.
Yeah.
There's this explosive dirt puke and just like, carry on, go into the yard.
I'm sure it's not the first time. It's a big castle. There's lots of places for them to go.
And then they just have like
They probably put up one of those yellow signs.
They don't have paper towel. They just have like rags.
Mops? A mop?
Yeah, but you have to clean up with the rag first before you mop. Otherwise, you're just spreading the dirt puke around the room.
You really, really thought a lot about this.
It's a big cleanup job. It's a very big cleanup job. They probably
put up a yellow sign. And no one can come in.
If I were Elspeth and I woke up from my dirt blood puke, I would be like, oh.
Is it saying it's dirt? Why do you keep saying dirt?
Because that's how it's described at some point.
Oh. I was like, is there dirt in it? Or it's just, I thought it was just like blood. Which I'm like, they're probably super used to cleaning up blood.
I would just, if I were her waking up, I would just be concerned about the cleanup. And
oh, I was concerned about how high up her bedroom was. It just sounded like a lot of stairs.
It did sound like a lot of stairs. Yeah. So we can carry on. We don't have to keep talking about the puke. Oh, and then we get another example of the nightmare of like giving good advice.
Are you going to let him suffer like this?
What will he think of me? Does it matter?
Of course it matters. He matters. So don't lie to him. Oh.
Yeah.
Is the nightmare a therapist?
It's if your therapist was trying to take over your body.
But yes.
I don't know if that's a personal experience you've had. Just the common everyday experience of your therapist trying to take over your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great advice.
Yeah. I feel like
Great advice.
the nightmare is just so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're being so many different types of people. Just, I don't know what to do with it.
We do get a nice conclusion of Eric Spindle giving her the wild card, though. I thought that was cute. It was a little like, okay, Eric, like, I see you, but we've always seen, we see there's, like, an underlying love and care and all of that. You were just, like, a shitty dad, and so he has this moment of, like, you know.
Well, and that really made their job easy,
nice.
Which was great.
It was a quick wrap-up of, like, them trying to find the cards, but
yeah.
I didn't mind it.
No, I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
Like, that was nice that he came up.
It was better than them stealing it.
Yeah. And he said, kind of like, he realizes that she's happy with Raven.
Yes, yeah.
And, yeah, it was just very nice.
Okay. Let's talk about the big event, or what?
Well, I do when Raven goes into her mind. It's like, who are you? I just, like, there's so many good, like, not poems, but you know what I mean.
Oh, like, okay, so this is later, like, after they have the...
So she explains it to him, so she lets him into her mind, and he says, who are you?
But after all of it happened, right? So, like, she had the fight with Hoth. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is before anything. This is when she first wakes up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
And she's explaining, so then she's like, okay, lets him in.
Yeah.
And he says, who are you? And he says, the shepherd of the shadow, the phantom of the fright, the demon in the daydream, the nightmare in the night. I have like
but it's also like, what are you talking about? Just tell me who you are.
Why would I do that? I'm going to tell you a riddle instead. I have, like, when I'm reading the book, 2 different voices for the nightmare. Mm-hmm. Like, I have, like, that one. And then, like, the one where he's like, don't lie to him. Like, more like the supportive, like, normal one. And then the one where he's, like, being super creepy and shit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But at one point, I guess it's like when Elm goes to leave, I don't know. But she says, I saw glass in his narrowed green eyes. What a pretty way to say that he had tears in his eyes.
That's not what she meant.
Oh.
The glass, because with the Scythe card, he had explained that it feels like glass. That's what I would interpret it, because earlier he had talked about how it feels like glass in his head. And that was part of the effects of the Scythe card. And that was causing the pain, like little shards of glass. And so I thought that was, like, what she meant.
I saw glass in his narrowed green eye. So, like, that he was in pain?
That was the effects of, like, overuse of the Scythe card.
But he was just sitting there. He hadn't been using it.
Uh-huh. That would be too coincidental if, like, they're talking about the little shards of glass in his head because of the Scythe and the pain that it caused.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees a shard of glass in his eye. No?
But it just says, I saw glass in his narrowed green eyes.
Uh-huh.
He's not using the Scythe at all.
Mm-hmm.
So then why would she say that? I saw that, like...
Maybe it's just the nightmare and them intertwining and, like, being able to see the effects, to see degeneration, to see the effects of the cards, so to be able to see, like, those specks of glass in his head from overuse of the Scythe. That's what I thought it was.
That's so wild that one little sentence, how we can take 2 different things from it.
Okay, so we get the attack of Bad Doctor and Hoth. Really, the only important part for me in this is when the full takeover of the nightmare happens, right?
And that her uncle is the worst.
And that her uncle betrayed her, for sure. Yeah. I mean, not that surprising, but, like...
Just willingly to be like, oh, your aunt came to see you.
That was dark. That was dark.
She's so excited. And she's like, oh, okay, let's go, Uncle.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah, and she's like, Uncle, don't leave me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dark.
And then she realizes that he told them. Like, why did you do that? You didn't have to do that.
So Elspeth needs the nightmare's help, and he says, your degeneration is almost at an end. So he's letting her know. He's not just like,
He's
I'm taking over your body.
super supportive
he
in
gives a
this.
shit in some sense,
Yeah.
right? And then when she gets hit to the head, like really bad, thrown against the wall, and she's like out of it, and then it's like, okay, she's
This
like,
is
take
it.
me. I'm tired.
But he's still trying to be like,
And
Like-
he says, let me help you.
I wanted to cry at that part.
Yeah.
But I like before that he was still trying to be like, get up. No, like, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to do that right now.
Yeah. But then it is, like, I just feel like it's a really somber, like, let me help you.
Yes.
It's so sad.
But then in the same moment, she gets the vision of what happened to the Shepard King. But basically, Elspeth is seeing the nightmare or the Shepard King's visions of the castle being burned down,
Like, all the things that
infected
happened.
children being burned, and we start to get a sense of how much his rage has lingered, his hatred has lingered for the Rowans and this, like, injustice. And then we get him brutally injuring Hoth.
Oh,
right?
it's messy.
Do you want to say that quote of what he says to Hoth?
They came in the night, the black and red horde. They burned down my castle, but my kin to the sword. The usurper was crowned, though my blood had not dried, but he did not account for the turn of the tide. For nothing is safe and nothing is free. Debt follows all men, no matter their plea. When the shepherd returns, a new day shall ring. Death to the Rowans. Long live the king. Yeah.
It is sort of like an epic speech before trying to slaughter someone.
Right? So good. Long live the king.
Yeah.
So she also does try and, like, warn them when they're coming back up. Raven finally gets up there and it's like holding her. And all this, and she just looks over, she's like, don't touch me! And her eyes are yellow, like, holy shit. It's like, this sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds like a big bloody mess. I just really think this would be a good show or movie.
Oh my god, so good.
Like,
it's so creepy.
So many parts. I'm like, oh, that would be so creepy.
Yeah.
And I love it. Oh, and she does make him promise to save Emory and help Raven.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Which was, I was like, good. You use that last bit of strength to make sure that they're going to be okay. She, at one point, when she's waking up, she's like, there were knots in the wood that if my eyes remained unfocused, transformed into strange, grotesque faces that stared down at me. Did you ever do that with wood?
Oh, yeah, you can see faces in wood.
Right? Especially when we had, like, the sauna downstairs.
Yeah.
It had so many, like, those, like, weird, I just remember, like, staring at so many parts and look like little monsters and stuff. It's like, oh, that's so true. I'm really glad I'm not alone.
The end of the book is basically introducing us to, like, King Rowan is wanting to know about the Twin Alders. Like, if you are the Shepard King, how, you know, what do you know? Can you help us find this last card? And so the last little riddle. The Twin Alders is hidden in a place with no time, a place of great sorrow and bloodshed and crime. Betwixt ancient trees where the mist cuts bone deep, the last card remains waiting asleep. The wood knows no road, no path through the snare. Only I can find the Twin Alders, for it is I who left it there.
Dun, dun, dun.
What's gonna happen?
We'll find out in book 2. Casting call. One dark window.
One dark window. Okay, we got 3 today.
Oh my goodness. My goodness gracious.
The first one is Emory. Emory, you. He's a smart guy. He's a funny guy.
I don't think that's correct, but I have beside it. It's a woman.
Oh?
So clearly that's... Okay, so I think I kept, like, looking at people trying to find someone, like, that should actually, like, play him type of thing.
Yeah.
The whole time it doesn't go with anyone else that I've picked. Like, their family doesn't look anything alike.
That's fine.
Yeah. I was just picturing a really young Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, a young Leo would be very good at Emory.
Right?
Yes.
So that's kind of who I was just picturing the entire time as a really young Leo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. None of this family looks the same, but I don't really care.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
It does not matter. It's a book. I didn't really imagine anyone, and I don't know any teenage actors.
Well, then I was like, Timothy Chalamet can do it. I'm like, no, because he's
I
also
picked
like...
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh.
I picked Timothy Chalamet.
Timmy!
Because he's multi-talented.
But he's also like good looking where I'm like, he's like not a kid.
Is he 12 or is he
30.
40? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's who I picked.
Okay.
Jasper.
So I looked, I had Emory and it said Rachel Ziegler. I was like, that's not right. I have Rachel Ziegler or Ray.
Who the hell's Ray?
She's a singer.
Okay.
Which I actually really think she's more of who I would picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know who that is.
So yeah, I have her and Rachel Ziegler.
Yeah, good choices. I'm gonna butcher this person's name.
Okay.
And I am so sorry.
Oh.
Ali Cravallo.
Definitely how it's pronounced.
It's definitely not. She is the voice of Moana.
Oh! She's
Yeah.
cute. She looks like Moana too.
A little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cute pick.
Yeah. Yeah, none of the people that we have today I had like I never had a clear vision of.
Yeah. Well, like Jasper, I have like a Jasper
like
in my head.
but I mean I didn't have an actor for them in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad Doctor.
Okay.
Oreth.
John Waters.
Oh. That's a really good pick. No, I think we're in the same.
That's like pretty much who I was picturing.
My instinct was Gary Oldman, and then I was like John Malkovich, which I feel like is,
Yeah.
him and John Waters are maybe going for the, could equally
The
do
John
it well.
title?
What?
I don't know. Tried to make a joke.
I was really tempted to do our casting call like the bad guys, but
Oh, that would have been fun.
But no, we're gonna do more of the bad guys next time. Or
John
the time
Malkovich
after.
would be good.
John Malkovich would really be good.
But I was actually just picturing John Waters the entire time.
That's fair. That's a great pick.
Right?
Yeah. Who is your MVP?
My MVP. I'm trying to decide between two of them, and I'm still like, oh.
What does your gut say?
Okay, the Nightmare.
The Nightmare.
Did I pick the Nightmare last time? I don't know.
I don't know. No,
But-
it's a good pick.
Right? Really support this time. Like came out when she really needed him. He's like the father, brother, friend that she needs.
That she never had.
That she never had.
That's
And
fair.
sometimes he's a complete psycho.
But even when he took over her body, he was nice. He was nice
And he was
about
really
it.
trying not to do it. Like he was warning her.
Yeah,
like-
like don't do it, Elspeth.
Yeah, and like, nope, you've still got it. Like I don't need to take over just yet. Like but he at the same time like he does have to do it, like to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
But he still obviously like cares for her and is trying to like protect her at the same time. It's just a whole so interesting.
Okay, mine is the staff who cleaned up the puke.
Oh Jesus. I was gonna say my runner up, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna say it because she might say it. No. Okay, well I'm gonna say my runner up.
The staff who cleaned up the puke. No questions and no arguments. That's the winner.
And Emory.
Oh, Emory would be a good one.
Yeah, really thought you were gonna take that.
But did he clean up puke?
He might have. He does live there.
Or did other people clean up his puke?
I don't know. We'll never know.
Never know. Okay. Please follow us on social media if you're still listening. We are on Instagram and we are on TikTok, and we are I don't know.
We're on all the things.
Well, not really. Not all.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
guess
there's lots
that's
of
true, not
things
all
out
the
there.
things.
wherever you're listening, try and give us 5 stars or a comment. It's incredibly helpful.
Please comment.
Yeah. Say hi.
That's it. Just say hey. Hey, girls.
Say, yeah, I was wondering about the puke too. Say that. Yeah, that puke was, yeah. No, that did keep me up at night as well.
What do you think about the glass in the eye?
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Okay, bye.
Bye.